Okay, Bezrat Hashem, we continue. Pasuk Yudalef. Yes, we wanted to do a quick ashlama about last shiur. Yes, and the question was the Da'at Kedoshim, right? So we wanted to add that as part of the Yehud is that the lashon Da'at is lashon. It comes from the word also to unite, like the pasuk says, "Ve'adam yada et Chava ishto," and he paired with Adam paired with Chava, his wife, and kedusha kedushim lashon kiddushin, right? Also, harat mekudeshet li. It's the terminology of unity and bond between a husband and wife. So pasuk Yud Aleph, the famous pasuk that we all know, Ki bi yirbu yamecha veyosifu lecha shenot chayim, Ki bi yirbu yamecha. Through me, your days will multiply, right? Will increase. Veyosifu lecha shenot chayim, and your years will be added to your life. To the years of your life. So the Gaon says that when you when you are connected, okay, you are glued to me, you are one with me. And how are you one with me? Last pasuk Yud that we saw, Vedat Kedoshim Bina. That's the sort of the Yud and the Kutzo Shel Yud. When there is Dvekut, Yirbu Yamecha. Your days will be merubim. You will have a lot of days. And you also have more years of life will be added to you. He says these are the shanot shel chaim, right? Years of life. And what is the definition of years of life? Of tovot, years of satisfaction, years of simcha, years of beracha. Yeah. If you remember Yaakov Avinu, when he meets Paro for the first time, yes, he differentiates between the years and the years of life that he had. So Shanot Hayim means that when a person will have more potential to enjoy the fruit of his efforts to connect and become one with Hashem. Now, do you recall what is the Shemot HaKodesh? What is the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that connects the Olamot? Remember? The Mem Bet Shemot.
It was
remember
you. The
Mem Bet. The Mem Bet Shemot. Ana Bekoach Gedulat Yeminecha. You remember that? Sorry. The Mem Bet Shemot.
Bless you.
Is the name that protects the Aliyah and Yerida, right? That the Maaseh Bereshit is the names that the Be'al Kenafayim that takes the tefillot of HaKadosh of Am Yisrael and bring them up. So says the Gaon, Ki bi yirbu yamecha, if you're with me, yirbu yamecha, right? So how does yirbu yamecha? You need kibi. If you have kibi, Then Yerbu Yamecha, right? Ki Gematria 30, B Gematria 12, together is 42. Shem Mem Bet. Ki B, when you, which is the name of the Ana Bechoach Gedulat Yeminecha. Yes? So when your avodah is to elevate Olam Hazeh, yes, and bring down the shefa of Olam Haba through the conduit of the Shem Membet, Yerbu Yamecha, your days get longer. And what does it mean, Yerbu Yamecha? Yamecha is Gematria 80, right? Yud is 10, Mem 40, Yud 10, and Chaf Sofi 20. That's 80. Ve'im begvurot shemonim shana, right? נכון? In Tehillim. Ve'im begvurot shemonim shana, right? That the life of a man is 70 years. Ve'im begvurot, but if he has, with gvurot, if he extends, shemonim shana. Meaning that somebody that's supposed to live 70 years, bizchut, by the merit of the yichud, right, that he did to be one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu through the Shemot, the Mem Bet Shemot, right? Nachon? And that to a level of what? Of the unity and the ahava there is between the Keter and the Chokhmah, between the Yud and Kutzos Shel Yud. So he bonded to the Yud, right? And he allowed the unity of the secret of the Yud, which is the Koch of the Yud and the Yud itself, which is the Keter and the Chokhmah, right? He allowed that harmony, that ahava, to shine upon him. He emulated that connection with of the Yud and the Keter, that he himself with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So midah keneged midah, right? You lived a life that is the Yud, so you are blessed with 10 years extra, right? Ve'im begvurot shemonim shana, right? A person lives 70 years, but ki bi yerbu yamecha, right? Your years will, because you were echad with me, then you're blessed with the Yud, and the Yud is 10, right? Yud gematria, so you go from 70 to 80 years. There's a segula le'arichut yamim. I'm a person that wants to be blessed with more years than he's supposed to live, and in this case, it's 10 years because of the avodah of ahava, of yichud with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's blessed with an extra 10 years. Ken? And he says, and the sword of the Yud is in the key, and he's in the B. He's in the Chaf and he's in the Bet. And he says the Chaf is the sword of Yud, right? Because there's two Yuds in the Chaf, right? The Gematria of Kaf is 20, that's two Yuds. That's the sod of the kaf. And that's in the key. And in the B, right? Bet, you have two he, that makes a yud. Bet he, right? That the bet is telling you that with the two he, you make a yud. So we have in the
how do you get
chaf.
the
Yes.
how do you get the two hays in the bet? Can you just explain that for me?
No, it says bet is two, right? What bet?
Yeah.
What does get you from the bet to the yud? If you have two hey, 2 times 5. Yes. And in the half, you have two yuds. So you have the sod of the yud in the half and in the B also.
How is it in the B?
It's hard.
Okay. In the B is like this. Because how do you get from the bet of the B to the yud of the B? Like gematriot. If you use
2
two
times
he,
5.
right? He and he gets you to yud. Yes.
How do you get to the hay though? That's what I don't understand.
No, but what is he trying to tell you? That even in the chaf and the bet, for example, use a gimel. Can a gimel get you to a yud?
No,
Never.
not equally. No,
Okay. Can a dalet get you to a yud?
no,
Can a vav get you to a yud? No. A
no.
zayin
But a
get you to a
lamed,
yud?
no, a lamed can if you use the same rationale of the chaf.
No, nachon, but if you look at you're right, nachon. But here we're looking at what at the otiyot that were given to us. You understand? So from
Right.
if you have a bet, yes, the only letter you can actually bring out from the bet to get to the yud is the he. Now, maybe I should let that go. Okay, but the point that he's trying to it's a yesod in the Raya Memna that in the sort of B, which is the 12 parsufim, the 12 tzirufim of the Yud Ke Vav Ke. Oh, but maybe Tov. To make it simple, Ki bi yirvu yamecha, right? If through the membet, through the Shem membet, which is through the avodah to elevate, which is very apropos, huh? Because tonight is Tu Bishvat, and the whole avodah of Tu Bishvat, right, is to elevate the nitzotzot that fell during the creation of the world, spiritually, right? It's called Shvirat HaKelim Mitat HaMelachim, when the Kelim were not received too much ore, okay, too much ore. It retained the chesed and broke, and the gvura broke, and the nitzotzot of the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu fell down, and that's how when the worlds went from Atzilut and then created Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah, right? And we have what is called lekitat nitzotzot, and the whole reason why we make berachot in this world, okay, is to elevate, right, the spark of kedusha that fell, okay, at the time of the creation of the spiritual creation of the world. And the whole avodat ha'adam is to elevate that, to elevate those nitzotzot, right? So when a person dedicates his life to elevate the bria, the creation, to a service of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to a purpose, right? And he is himself a conduit of the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to influence and bring the beracha to the world. So now he himself, that is one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is a reason for him to be blessed with Yirbu Yamecha. And not only that, Ve'yosifu lecha, not only that you will have extra years, but those years will be years of Chaim. And if you recall, Ken, Chaim is which gematria? 2 times Havaya and Yud Kevavke, right? Remember we spoke about that. The 2 Havayot, the 2 Ekie and Havaya in the middle, right? The 2 Ekie being the 2 Ktarim, the sources of the pillar of Chesed and the pillar of Gvura, that converge to the Sefirat, the Midat Atiferet, to become one, right? And that's what Chaim is about. We saw that at the end of Perek Chet, if I'm not mistaken. נכון? כן? Do you remember that or no? כן, we spoke about that, נכון?
Yes, I remember.
And at the end of Perek Chet. So that's Ve'yosifu lecha shenot chaim, because of the yichud that you've been making, right? By emulating the harmony between the Keter and the Chokhmah, which is the secret of the Yud. You are blessed with Yud, which is an extra 10 years, right? And those the extra years will be years of Chaim. Why would there be years of Chaim? Because what is Chaim? The Chaim is the harmony and the perfect balance between the Ekia of Chesed and the Ekia of Gevura, right? So when the both Ekia converge towards the Yud Kevavke of the Tiferet, which is the center and the focal point of all the Sefirot, right? And the perfect harmony of between the two opposites happen there. This is how when Chaim comes. This is the definition of Chaim. So because this was your avodah, then you will be blessed with years of Chaim. And he says, to the point that Shenot the years lechaora, yes, can be good and bad. Says the Gaon, whether they're good or whether they're bad, the segula of this avodah is that he turns it all into Chaim. He says this is what we say. We said To'ameha Chaim Zachu, right, on Shabbat. The tefillah of Musaf of Shabbat. To'ameha Chaim Zachu. That whoever tastes the Shabbat, they are blessed with Chaim. Is this clear? Any questions on that specific? Rabbi Isai, we're good?
Yes.
Okay. So here we see the importance of the Yehud Hashem, right? And the benefits that we get from it. Im chachamta, pasuk Yudbet. Im chachamta, chachamta lach. If you became, if chacham, you became wise, so you became smart for yourself. Velatzta levadecha tisa. And if you are if you are a clown, right, a jokester, you carry it on your own. You'll carry it on your own. So the Chokhmah, says the Gaon, the Torah tells the person, שהתורה אמרה לו שילך לבדו. Better be alone than around the wrong people influence. Yeah, because if you are surrounded by Reshaim, even if it's to rebuke them, you're exposed to vulnerability and to failure. So says the Chokhmah, you better be alone, okay? And that's what he says, Im chachamta, if you made yourself chacham, if you sit and you learn on your own. Chachamta lo lach, that chokhmah is yours. You've accomplished something, you've gained something, you've elevated yourself. Even if you're alone. But if you choose to be social, בסופו של דבר, their foolishness is something you will end up carrying. You understand? So if you learn, even if you're on your own, right? Then what you're the one that's benefiting. But if you are, you are with the wrong friends, then even if they are the letzim, if they are the fools, at the end, the one that carries the loss, yes, is not them, because that's how they are anyways. It's you that have chosen, right? Whatever that has exposed yourself to the wrong influence and didn't end up learning on your own.
It feels like it fits in with was it Pasuk Zion that we saw earlier in the parak?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Pasuk Zayin or Ken,
Was it?
Yes.
Rabbi Dan.
So from this pasuk, this pasuk is coming to explain to us the benefit of the Chokhmat Torah, and comes to tell you that it is more beneficial to be secluded and bebodedut and alone and be exposed to the Chokhmat Torah and gain from it. So you're essentially, you think you're one, yes? You think you're alone. But by learning the Chokhmat Torah, you're making yourself one with the Torah, and you're connecting yourself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to the purpose of the Yud that we've discussed in Pasuk Yud Aleph and in Pasuk Yud. Even though physically it seems like you're alone. And if you're alone, then you're detached from the rest, right? But because there's the Torah and you're learning the Torah, so you actually implemented the Yehud. Versus what? Versus being social and bonding and trying to help, which seems and feels like you're actually connecting. But in reality, you are now influenced by the let's, by the fool, that by definition pushes you away from really being one. So comes Shlomo HaMelech and tells us, essentially, you need to be careful in your situations and evaluate, is this setup not influencing, but promoting and helping the Yehud? Or is it, or is the opposite? This setup is pushing me away from the Yehud. So the Chokhmah tells you, yes, it's not because you're around people or you think you're gonna rebuke or you're gonna give musar, that means that you're doing that you're doing the avodah of the Yud. The opposite. The Torah tells you, make sure that the situation that you choose is always a situation that will allow you to implement, yes, the lesson of the Yud. Ken? The next Psukim, Yud Gimel, Yud Dalet, is addressing again, once again, the Tedvav, the Yetzer Hara and its Pituim. So I wanted to learn it as a bulk, at least Yud Gimel, Yud Dalet, and Tedvav. So I think we're gonna stop here just so that we don't break it in the middle. Any questions on the Yesod that we learned? The Pasuk Yud Bet is a very big musar. Not to fall for the, for the Etzah of the Yetzer Hara of thinking that sometimes you feel like you're bonding when you're really drifting away. And sometimes you're on your own and you feel like you're completely disconnected when you're actually the most connected. That's the Yesod that the Chokhmat Torah is coming to teach us here. And it's very emet, because when many times when you think you're on your own, this is when you realize the most that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with you. And when you're surrounded with a lot of noise and a lot of people, you think everything is going well. But in reality, you're completely distracted. Musar Haskel, very big Musar Haskel, very big Musar Haskel. והמבינים יבינים. Not to be distracted by the noise. טוב. בסדר? So we're gonna stop here and בלי נדע continue tomorrow. פסוק י"ג and on. Almost done בעזרת השם. טוב. Brian, all good? No question. Dan, no question.
Good. Well,
Yes.
no, I just want to go back to Pasuk Yud and just if you can just please explain again for me or just clarify for me, just help with the Yesod of the Yud a little bit more. Like I understand like in concept, but I don't know if we can just dive into it a little bit more. Like
What don't you understand? A Yud has two parts of it. It has the actual letter and it has its cuts, right? The Zohar Kadosh says that as much the cuts representing the Keter and the Yud representing the Chokhmah. Yes? So the Yud really has two sirot in it, right? It has the Keter in the cuts of the Yud, and it has the Chokhmah of the Yud, right? But it's one letter. It's one letter. So the Zohar Kadosh says, why is it one letter? Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu make the Keter and the Chokhmah as one letter? Because as much as the Chokhmah wants to be connected to the Keter wants to be connected to the Chokhmah. That's the Zohar Kadosh. And the Ahava between the two is so big that they are dependent on each other in order to exist. And that is the perfect Achdut that we must emulate if we want to live in their world. And what is the world of the Yud? The world of the Yud is Atzilut, right? How do you know the world of Atzilut? The Yud is Atzilut, because the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that is filled with Yudim, Yud Vav Daled He Yud Vav Yud Vav He Yud, is the name that rules over the world of Atzilut. Okay? And that the gematria of Havaya with Yudin is 72 gematria Chesed, right? The world of Atzilut is the world is called in the Olam Ha'elyon you have 7 Echalim, right? You have 7 layers, and the 7th layer is called Hechala Ahava. The Hechala Ahava is that's where the Yud, right, is taking its strength from. When I say the Yud, the Keter and the Chokhmah, yes, and they love each other so much that they all focus on doing each other's chesed for each other, to the point that the Yud cannot exist without the Kot, and the Kot has no Kot without the Yud, right? And Melech Beloam, you cannot be a king if you don't have a people, right? So the Keter is not the Keter if there's not what to give it to, which is the Chokhmah, right? Yes. So
yes.
And this is and the Olam Atzilut is the world of the Yehud of us, how we become really one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like like we explained, in the Tefillah, the Amidah is in the world of Atzilut. Shabbat is in the world of Atzilut. The Tefillin Shel Rosh, זה עולם האצילות. יש ציצית קטן, זה עולם העשייה. ציצית גדול, עולם היצירה. תפילין של יד, עולם הבריאה. תפילין של ראש, עולם האצילות. Right? על פי המקובלים, that's why we don't make a bracha on the תפילה של ראש. Because you're already in the אצילות there. Right? זה במוחין. זה במוחין, you put it on your head. And the עולם האצילות, what's in your head? חוכמה. Right? That's the neshama, that's the chokhmah. That's the yud. So Shlomo HaMelech says that when, well, I'm not to go back into the whole structure of Yira and Chokhmah and Yira, right? But when, says the Gaon Mivina, when your Yira and your Chokhmah, when your Tachlit, your purpose, and your wisdom to get to the purpose, from a strategic perspective and from an applicable perspective, yeah, are fusing, are one, the two. This is when, right, you give birth through the binah to the da'at, and the da'at that you give birth to, right, is not a simple da'at, is a da'at that is the fruit of a perfect union between the Keter and the Chokhmah. Because what is the Binah doing? The Binah is only taking what it receives from the Chokhmah, right? Compartmentalize it, reorganizes it, crystallizes it, and brings it on to the Da'at, right? To be applicable and purposeful. Yes? So now the whole essence of the Da'at is a Da'at that is infused with what? With the achvad, with the achdut of the of the yud. You understand? Because this is the prominence that you give to your avodah. The yichud between the yirah and the chokhmah. The yichud, yes, at what level? At the level of the yichud between the keter and the chokhmah. So the yud is a point of reference that tells you as much as there is a perfect connection between the keter and the chokhmah, the same thing you, Rabbi Yid, when you serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right, you need to make a yehud, you need to join the forces as much as you can. You have to make one, your yirah and your chokhmah. The focus of the tachlit, your purpose, and the implementation of the purpose. You cannot differentiate the two. You cannot use the chokhmah without purpose and have a purpose without chokhmah. It doesn't work. It depends which one comes first, if it's strategy or action. Yes? But as long as you use both in perfect unity and harmony, what you're doing through that effort and that behavior is that you yield a da'at that is infused with that unity, with that harmony. Yes? And that allows you to be in your behavior what is called kadosh. And what is kadosh? Kadosh is also unity. Right? You're becoming one with your wife, and the da'at makes you one, right? So suddenly your entire behavior is a behavior that is focused on unity, harmony, love, connection, directed towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And if you do so, and how do you do it on a practical level? Al Pi Kabbalah, it says the Gaon, through the Membet Shemot, right? To the name of Ana Bechoach, right? And that's how you elevate, and that's how you bring down, right? So that behavior, yes, that of being a kadosh, gives the person the beracha because he emulated the concept of the yud in his behavior, right? By bringing harmony between the yirah and the chokhmah. So he is blessed with the yud itself. And what is the yud itself? An extra 10 years from 70 to 80. And those 10 years are not going to be just years. They're going to be also years of yehud. How are there be years of yehud? Chaim. Chaim is what? It's taking the keter, right? The concept of the pillar of Gevurah and the pillar of Chesed and bring and join the two forces together to make it a perfect harmony, which is the Havaya of the Tiferet, Gematria Chaim. Eye ve'Havaya together, it's Chaim, Gematria Chaim. Right? 21 is 42. 42 plus 26 is 48. Sorry, it's 68, right? 21 and 21 is 42. 42 and 26 is 68. Chaim. Good? Yes?
Yes.
Now, and comes Shlomo HaMelech and tells you, and you should be careful that when you try to be Yehud and to bond and to be one, right? You might think to be one, you need a second, right? So it comes from Shlomo says the Torah tells you be careful. Be careful who you bond with. Because not every second that you want to bond with is actually a unity. So sometimes you're better off being on your own and elevate yourself through Chokhmah and develop that power of Yehud through the Chokhmah, then mingling with the wrong people and thinking you're bonding when in fact you're drifting away. And that type of people in this pasuk is the letz, is the fool. Because the fool by definition, okay, harms the others, like we explained it in pasuk Zayin, like you said, like you referred to it very well.
That was great.
Beautiful. That's crazy. You just spit that out like that.
That's the summary.
What, practically speaking, though?
What do
Okay.
you mean practically?
On regarding the Yud, how do we bring both parts together?
We
On a
just said when you need to make a decision, you have to make a strategy. Yes, you have to plan. Okay, I have a big decision to make. What's the tachlit of my decision? What's the purpose of my decision? That's how we start, right? We said techilat chokhmah yirat Hashem. In the thought process, is first is the tachlit yirat Hashem. Okay, what is my purpose of that decision? What am I trying to target? What is the outcome I'm trying to get? Number one. And how do I now use my chokhmah to see this purpose come to reality? What needs to happen? All the steps. And now I connect the two together. Okay, I have the chokhmah. Do I have the chokhmah that it takes to get to my tachlit? Am I missing something? Until you have clarity. Now, when it comes to implement the strategy, right? You're going to use the chokhmah that you intellectually thought and start applying it in your actions, right? You don't just go act randomly. No, you're going to act bechokhmah. You're going to behave bechokhmah. Why? Because what you want to do theoretically and what you do practically is very different, right? There's circumstances, there's curveballs, situations. Not everything you plan really happen. But if you have your chokhmah, right, and your wisdom infused in all your actions, when you do your actions to get to your purpose, yes, then you'll be able to navigate properly and get to the tachlit, even though there's curveballs and situations. Yes. And then keeping in mind that there's a purpose, I had a purpose, and this is the purpose I need to get to. And what is the purpose at the end? It has to be infused with Yirat Hashem. It has to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What is the decision I'm making, right? To the service of Hashem or not? Or is it servicing me?
That's loaded. That last sentence is so loaded in today's world that we live in.
Nachon?
Shouldn't effectively our tachlit at the end of the day be for better service of Hashem?
100%.
Be to emulate the yud?
Absolutely.
Okay, yes, we have a matara. The goal is to be successful in this deal and whatever it is that we're doing in this business in this business. But at the end of the day, why are you doing it?
That's right.
Is it to give more tzedakah? Is it to do more chesed?
That's right. That's right. That's the Yirat Hashem in the Tachlit.
We can justify, I'm not going to say we, but a lot of human beings will create that justification.
Nachon, you're right. That's the Yetzer Hara. That's the Yetzer Hara. This is why
we learned about that a few prakim ago, also, where we falsely create this justification in our head.
Nachon.
That's the Yetzer Hara taking over us.
That's right. And that's when there's no Yirat Hashem. Clear
That's
in the
when there's no
Tachlit.
Yirat Hashem.
This is why he uses the terminology Yirat Hashem as Tachlit. That's exactly it. So essentially, Yirat Hashem is the shield of protection of your Tachlit, not to allow the rationalization, right?
False.
Contaminate the Tachlit and drift you from your true purpose. That's exactly it. Shkoyach, Marianne. Shkoyach, Marianne.
Rebbe.
Yes?
Dan, that's practical application. Slow loaded.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's probably, I was asking myself why, when I made the reference that this reminds me of Pasuk Zayin, why is it here? But then when you put it together, you need the Techilat Chochmah Yirat Hashem and the Kiddush and Kiddushim Binah, the Dat Kiddushim Binah, in order to get back to here.
Correct.
In order, it all fills in.
Correct. How
Beautiful.
do you say?
Chazak.
Fusion what? What was the
circular reference?
Circular reference. טוב. בעזרת השם שיהיה לנו יום נפלא ומבורך.
Amen. Amen.